Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to our orientation session for Beauty for Ashes. Beauty for Ashes is a 28-week virtual clinic in how individuals, families, communities, and nations can heal themselves from the ravages of spirit, soul, and body and come into a place where they can enjoy kingdom lifestyle. And by kingdom lifestyle, I mean that we were all created for a purpose. And we are only satisfied and fulfilled when we morph into, grow into, journey into that purpose. And so that is the objective of this whole program. So we take you step by step through 28 weeks of healing, first of all, our body, soul, and spirit, because we have a self healing body. Then, in the second month, we move on to healing the earth and its environment, because that is the environment in which we operate. In our third month, we move on to healing our productivity and profitability. Because unless we are productive, we cannot be profitable. Let me say that again. Unless we are productive, we cannot be profitable. In our fourth month, we look at healing our nation's GDP and wealth distribution through circular economies. Sounds like a big mouthful, but in month 4, we will be able to recognize, unearth, and utilize all the capacities that exist in our own countries and ensure that each contributor gets their fair share of what they are putting into the pot. So this is what gives you the capacity to choose how much of what is coming in you can keep. And that's probably one of the most exciting months in the whole program. Heal My Nation's GDP, wealth generation through circular economies. Fifth month, we look at healing my purpose and my passion. We have all been made with a purpose. And all of us have within us that desire to fulfill our dreams, our visions, and our downloads, because that is what informs us of our purpose. We have these dreams of doing this, getting that, being that, and engaging. All of us have a desire to assist those who are less fortunate, to build a home, to do something for humanity. But most of us don't have the resources. However, through this program, we will learn how to always generate excess so that we can not just fulfill our purpose, but utilize all the things that we're passionate about. And additionally to that, when you always have excess, you can always give out of your excess to satisfy the needs that exist around you. That's month 5. Month 6 is the big one. Heal my finances. And the purpose of healing our finances is so that we can build legacy. It is a good and righteous person who leaves a legacy for their children's children. And just be very clear that the legacy is not just money. It is the capacity to always generate wealth, whether it's from the resources that are left, or from the principles that are left, or from the training that is passed down to your children and by them to their children, so that we always are able to live in abundance. The 7th class is heal my relationships to establish Ubuntu. And none of us alive can say we do not have challenges with all these 7 topics, because it's a part of the development of life. As we learn how to align these healing modalities with the spirit of our Creator, then we learn how to activate them in ourselves. Now, what is the methodology that we will use to carry out this process? 1, first, we have to recognize who we are, why we are here. What are we called and left here to do? And what have we been empowered to do by our Creator? Because whatever our calling is, we have the capacities in embryo, in our cells, in our bodies, our souls, and our spirits. And we have been placed in the ideal environment to hone and develop those capacities. So if you were born in Timbuktu, or you're born in Africa, or you're born in India, North or South America, Australia, or Europe or Asia, it makes no difference. You were born in the correct place to give you the initial start. You were born with the perfect DNA. We're going to learn about all of that. The impact of DNA and environment, the impact of exposure in determining your success, and how you can manage all 3 to your advantage. So it is so important for us to get the groundwork, to understand the foundations, so that we don't keep attempting to heal ourselves from our symptoms. We need to learn to heal ourselves from our roots and foundations. And then the item will never come back unless you invite it. So we're looking at spirit, soul, and body. And we're going to explain how every condition of ill health is pneumopsychosomatic. Now, we're all familiar with the term psychosomatic. It means that this condition is contributed to by your mind, and it shows up in your body. So it's a merge between the mind and body. However, research has shown And life has shown over ages that there's another link that is very often ignored. And that is the pneuma, the spirit. Every condition starts in the spirit, percolates through the soulish realm, the cycle, and shows up in the body. We're going to learn how to trace every condition you have back from the body through the soulish realm into the spirit. And we are going to be dealing with principles. And these principles relate to every culture, every environment, and are applicable to every person, regardless of age, once we learn them. So, engaging beauty for the ashes is something that everybody needs to be continuously doing, because things are born, things around us live, things around us die. The plants are born, they go and they die, everything else around us. This is the continuum of life, growth, deterioration, death, life, growth, whatever, is a constant that we have to engage. And if we embrace it to our advantage, then it's all good. There is no disadvantage in the different things that happen to us. And that brings me to the next point, understanding the concept of relativity. In life, we have to have good and bad. We have to have up to appreciate down. We have to have, we know about the microbiome and the balance between the, I don't want to say good and bad cells. I want to say healthy and less than healthy, what we call D cells, deficient cells. That balance is what results in growth, success, advancement. And so our objective is not to annihilate the bad. Our objective is to maintain balance. And that we will be learning the ground rules for that. And when I'm talking about health, I'm not just talking about health of the body or of the spirit or of the soul, psyche. I'm talking about the health of the earth, the health of my productivity, the health of my finances, the health of my relationships, the health of my purpose, the health of my nation, the health of my community, the health of my workplace. You know, it covers all of those relationships that we have, whether we accept it or want to or not. And they all impact our individual health. So it's about the healing of the individual, the family, the community, the workplace, the nation, and of course, the planet. Now, what is our source for all of this? Our source comes from an understanding and acceptance that we were created in the image of the Most High. And we have the potential to engage the qualities of the Most High. Not just engage them, but through continuous engagement to learn them and make them our own, so that we are expressions. Now, where is this information? My philosophy is that this information exists and is available in the Word. Now, what do I consider the Word? And you can have your own interpretations. But the Word is a trilogy. There is the written Word. And the written Word, I am not putting this in a box and mentioning the Bible as the Word. The Word, the written Word, exists in all the wisdom writings of whatever religion that is giving us truth. Let me say that again. The wisdom writings of the ages, long before the Bible that we are accustomed to, contain the written Word. Wherever truth is written down, it is a part of the written Word. And those of you who are into research, especially into the African historical wisdom books, will know that everything that is in the current writings that express truth come from those ancient writings. That's the written Word. And guess what? The Most High sent His Word written to heal us. And we just need to find that Word and apply it to whatever has given us ill health. So that's the written Word. The second is the spoken Word. Now, the spoken Word is something that is continuously being transmitted to us by the Most High, our Creator, who is continuously speaking to us. We can all hear, but we have got to be still. We have got to be intentional. We've got to want to hear. We've got to want to listen. And so it is essential for our own health and healing that we put aside time on a daily basis, and preferably 3-5 times a day, where we consistently pull ourselves away from the distractions of our daily lives and sit alone with the Spirit of the Most High and just listen and communicate. Talk about what challenges you have. Listen for the answers, and they're immediate. We'll go through a process of how to do that. So there's the written Word, and there's a spoken Word, spoken into my spirit, spoken into my gut. And we all understand what it means. I had a gut feeling I shouldn't have gone. I had a gut feeling that this is not a good environment. And we all have gut feelings. You step into a place and you say, be careful. You step into an environment and you say, I don't like this environment. You step into a place and you say, wow, I feel so energized, so energetic. That's why I do most of my broadcasts once it's not raining in the garden, because I am covered by greenery, and just being around and touching all of this stuff. Oh my God, I am energized by the life force, especially if it's green. And for those of you who are into healthy living and lifestyle, you are invited to my monthly free broadcast. It's on Thursday at the third Thursday at 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, every third Thursday of the month, from January to December. I started late this year, I started in March, but it covers different topics. Our first one covered understanding cellular health and how to maintain it. Our second one was cells part 2, because cells are a big topic. Now, month, the third one will be in the third Thursday of May, and it will be on word and the impact of word and the capacity of word. And the rest you have to come and hear. And I want to tell you about the fourth one. The fourth one, which will be in June, third Thursday of June, will be on blood. And when you hear the research on blood and what blood does in your system, you'll be totally blown away. So let's get back to what we're talking about here. Because the spoken word into your spirit is the second way that we can hear and continue that ongoing conversation on how we should proceed to have, I want to say, continuous success, ongoing success, growth, development. Okay. The third one is called the living word. And the living word is exemplified in those persons who have lived on earth and have lived in a way that they have listened to the spoken word in their spirits and tried to carry it out. They have read the written word and continue to read it. And so we have the epitome of this, the Christ. But Jesus was not the only one who exemplified this lifestyle. He was the only one who did it perfectly. But there were so many other sages, so many other persons on earth, even now in today's day, that you can look at us and say, wow, I see the living word being carried out in that person. And we are trying in this program to give you the tools that you need to be the Christ, the one who is going to lead your family, your community, your workmates, your employees, those that you interact with, into the truth and into the joy of living in this growth pattern. So it's not an issue of being perfect or not having challenges. It's an issue of continuous growth, where you continuously overcome and overcome and overcome. And in overcoming, you enjoy increasing health, increasing provision, wealth, increasing relationships, loving relationships, increasing peace in yourself, regardless of the turmoil that is around. It does not trap you. You know what to use your time to say no to. And this is so important at this present time, with the distractions that are screaming at us. We have to learn to make the right choices. But once you have the tools, it's up to you. Then, a part of the spoken word is that the word is not just spoken into our spirits, but we need to learn to be a part of the spoken word, where we are going to pass this on to everybody that we interact with. So we become a change agent in the environments that we interact with. And that is just great, because that's how we get our fulfillment. So I was trying to explain what is our source. So our source for all 7 mega topics is the written word, the spoken word, and the living word, the example of those who have cottoned on to truth. Now, one of the examples that I research and that I follow are the blue zones. We have all heard of blue zones, where people live very healthy lives and fulfilling lives in different particular areas. And a lot of people attribute their success to the environments. But environments can be created. And so we are going to learn how to create blue zones out of wherever we live, wherever our current environment is. How can we? And I'm telling you, it doesn't take a lot of people. It only takes one person who is consistent. And they don't have to do it for anybody else, just for themselves. Then their family will come in. Then their community will want to come in. So you don't have to be out there forcing anybody to do anything. You just have to be consistent for yourself, your own health. And that is how you will create a legacy for others that will live on long after you have left this scene. Now, let me see if there's anything else in the foundation that I need to share with you. Relationships. How could I forget that? Ta-ta. Relationships. I think relationships are one of our most challenging, what do you want to call it? Activities, associations, whatever. Because we are unique. And because we are unique, we are going to have different views from the other person. Of course, we know that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. But outside of the male-female differences, there are differences in each individual. So you have to now learn how to develop loving relationships with those who are different from you. And even though that's last session, it's in month 7, we will be looking at these things every month in how the topic for the month impacts our relationships at home, in the workplace, in the nation, in the community, and on the planet. Because this has got to be one of our objectives in life, to understand that we can have loving relationships, regardless of what is coming from the other person. So it's all about healing yourself first in any challenge that faces us. Let our approach be, how can I assist in making this interaction more loving? That's the only thing you can do. You cannot change anybody else, but you can change yourself to the point where they do not impact you negatively. And they get the opportunity of learning from you if they choose to have loving relationships. Okay, so I've covered, purpose. Oh my goodness. We're all created a purpose and given everything that we need to fulfill the purpose. How do we engage those things so that we're not always striving, but we are embracing, because it's almost like it's being poured on us, the capacities, and how to move into that space. And then, of course, I want to tell you my biggest and most important area is how I want to use this term to manage your time so that you always have time to Lala, what I call Lala. You must always have time to rest, relax, rejuve, recreate. And of course, we know that we have been instructed to keep a Sabbath, a rest day. But it is one of the most difficult things to maintain. Because if you do not have a rest day, you cannot manage your time. Everything will be always out of whack. And so learning how to have a rest day is the key to managing your time. And we're going to learn how to do that in the different environments. It's not about being a Seventh-day Adventist or, locking yourself away like a hermit for one day. No. It's about resting, relaxing, rejuvenating, recreating, having a wonderful day where there is no work and no stress. And it's amazing. We're going to be learning all the modalities to how we can heal ourselves, body, soul, and spirit. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about the structure of the program. It is a free program for 28 weeks. We're going to be covering these 7 topics. And if you would like to review what's going on, please go to kingdomshiftnow.net. And there is a outline of the whole program, what it intends to do, and how the classes are structured. And you will just get a Zoom link every month to come on. I'm encouraging you to register as a group, because we cannot heal individually. We have to heal in community. And healing in community requires a family. It requires persons outside of the family. It requires everything that we need for putting together all the components that are required for healing. We cannot heal individually. So I am suggesting that you get together a group from your church, a group from your community, a group from your workplace, a group from your hobby area, your badminton club, or your whatever, the people that you interact with. And you meet every week to learn how to heal yourself. And once you do that, then you will have support. Now, I learned this technique when I taught across Africa. And basically, Wi-Fi is extremely expensive, and persons do not have the resources to afford Wi-Fi. And if you don't, if you don't do that, then persons will not be able to access the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is more expensive and more and less accessible than food. It's either food or Wi-Fi. So unless you're getting Wi-Fi at your workplace, then you just don't have access to it. So I asked persons to use each device must be used in a different location. 2 devices must not be in the same location. So at the church, we did our broadcast on 1 device, and there are 3,000 people watching the 1 device. In the houses, they gathered, packed as many people they could get in, 60, 80, 100, just to listen to the 1 device. And then they went away and came into groups and they did the exercises supporting each other so that everybody recognized that one person couldn't do everything. So we started to get back into community. And we did this under the tree, in communities, in the camps. This is the refugee camps all over the place, in the market where the homeless people gathered, everywhere. And it was so effective that all of these persons morphed into Kingdom Lifestyle over the 7 months. It's just amazing. Currently, I have 40 projects in South Africa alone. I'm just mentioning South Africa because I visited there. But all the different countries have projects moving based on this. What of Jamaica? This whole project is being done in Jamaica for Jamaicans because it is a recovery program from the Hurricane Melissa. And you don't need a house to do it. You just need an organization of 1 person with a cell phone and the group gathering around. Now, our broadcasts will be from 3 to 5 on a Sunday afternoon. Now, if you want to be a part and ask questions and have your own situations analyzed in the session, then come on a Sunday afternoon. But if you don't, once you have registered, then you will get a copy, a videotape copy of the session, and you can gather together anytime, morning, noon, or evening, sit around it and watch it, do the activities that are being shown on the screen, and then plan out to implement them in your homes, on your sidewalks, in your communities, at the beach, whatever, so that you can get the full benefit and interact with each other while you're doing this, because we heal in community. Now, there is a registration fee, and the registration fee is for the whole Wi-Fi, what should I say, paying for all of that stuff, right? And it's $196 US. That is 196 US is approximately $28,000. Now that can be paid as a one-time fee at the beginning. That is the only way that you can pay it. So you can pay it on a credit. Everybody gets together and pay it on a credit card, or there are several payment options on the website, kingdomshiftnow.net. And you can send it by Remitly or RIA or via America, different things. Now, if you have a group going, it's easy to get the group together and contribute. For Jamaica, if you get a group of 10 persons and they each contribute $100 per class, $100 per class, and it's only 10 people, they can pay the $4,000 per month, but it's not payable as $4,000 a month. It's payable as $28,000 at the beginning of the program, because all the groundwork has already been done. And once you have paid that, you are getting 7 months, 28 virtual clinics. And our structure is like this. We'll be having, it's a 2-hour session, and we'll be teaching for 1 hour. And then, Sir Wayne, please let me know when I've gone for an hour, okay? The teaching goes for 1 hour, and then a half an hour is application. So we apply to the different environments and the different persons and the different situations that are on the session. And of course, I will apply to situations that are not on the session that I have been exposed to. And then the final half an hour is for any questions to do with a topic that you may have from your personal healing requirements. So it's very comprehensive. This particular program we have been doing all across the world since about 2002. So that will make it 24 years. Yes. And we have done it through the Caribbean islands. We have done it across the African continent. We have done it across the diaspora, the African diaspora. So it has gone into Europe, into Asia, into North America, South America, the islands of the sea, up and Caribbean, as well as the African continent. So we come with examples from all the different environments. And it's just very comprehensive. This program has been done under several different approaches. Probably 10 years ago, we did it under the heading of how to make the farming communities of your nation the healthiest and wealthiest sector in the nation. And if you go through this program and you're a farmer, I'm here to tell you that can be your experience. We did it across the diaspora as the National and Community Transformation by Families, because we concentrated on families getting together and building their legacy, and therefore impacting the community and the nation. We have taken several, we did it probably last year as Heal Myself First. And this was focusing on healers, people who were in the healing industry, medical professionals. We were dealing with the people who were counselors and in the whole health capacity area. We found that a lot of people who were in the healing industry were dropping dead and were not fulfilling their purpose. And so we marketed the whole program last year towards those persons, 2025. And it was amazing because we had doctors and therapists of all sorts and business people and probably a more professional group than I have had before, because I usually target the disenfranchised and those who are marginalized. Another important thing that this brings together is putting the family back together, because the family is the place where most challenges occur. And the position of each person in the family is, in our modern society, upside down. Let's just put it that way. The children rule the roost. And when children and women rule, hear what I just say, the word, I told you that our foundation is the 3 words. And the word, the written word, the spoken word, and the living word says that when women and children rule, chaos continues. We need to get the male back in position. This is what this program does. But this program does not put the female back into a secondary position, because the female is actually the instigator, the creator of everything. But the male is the head. So that you have a perfect balance. And anything with 2 heads is a monster. So we have to remember that we need to have coordination. We need to have synergy. And that is how the Creator intended for it to succeed. That's how we achieve abundance. That's the issue of relativity. How do you give and give and give and always have excess? How do you withhold and withhold and withhold and always are in need? Understanding that and actually actualizing that will give you the pathway to abundance that you are created to enjoy. What time do you have, Brian?
It's 3:53.
Okay, I have 7 minutes more. All right. Let me see. I wanted to mention also that in this month, we are also inviting all the children to come on board, and we have a program called Every Child an Entrepreneur. And every child an entrepreneur will be run for 1 hour once a week, where the children can learn entrepreneurship. I want to tell you the story of my youngest entrepreneur. She was 7 months, just learning to walk, hanging on to her mother's skirt tail, and her mother was interested in my program. So she started, and everything the mother did, she wanted to do, at that age. So I said, please give her her own plot. And you plant a seed here, and you take her finger and plant a seed here, right? That's her plot, right? She planted myriads of seeds, because every day she went out and planted seeds along with her mother. But it was her plot. Do you know, in 3 months, when she was 1 year and 2 months, she had a thriving nursery business. In 3 months, all the seeds were up into seedlings. And her mother, on her behalf, of course, started to sell them. And that was her business. So we are teaching the children to start a business by starting a nursery where they're planting the seeds that are eaten in the house. And all you need is, if you don't have any land, you get containers. And I had one family who lived in the US in an apartment complex. Every windowsill had those cups, those little plastic cups that you throw away after you've used them for an event. They had something like 50 odd cups just on the windowsill, because that's the only place they got sunlight, right? They had no land. It was an apartment. And when the sun came up, they drew the blinds up so that it just covered the area where exposed the area where the sun was. They grew. I have a picture that I circulated at the time, which was way back whenever. And every cup had in a different item. They grew all the scallions that they constantly need. They grew it, and this is in water. So I usually circulate a thing of 48 different herbs, spices, and greens that you can grow in water on your windowsill. And you can do that on a windowsill. But what do you have? What don't you have? Do you have one wall where the sun comes in through a picture window? You can do vertical shelves, and you can grow 60 different things on that. You can show people how to make towers. But the issue is start to grow, start to plant something so that you are able to engage in bringing something to life and then taking it to a place where you can not only enjoy it for yourself, but you can sell. So the formula that I use is that whatever you plant must be 10 times more than what you need. 1/10 you consume, and the 9/10 you do not sell fresh. You move it into value-added products. You take one shoot, because in each cup, there are like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however many little cuttings that you can put in the one cup. And you take them apart, and then you put 3 of them into a big teacup, and you sell it as a herb garden. So you can sell 3, 5, 7, 9. You can make different sizes, and you develop a business doing an herb garden. So there's nothing that you make for yourself that you cannot sell to others, including your food. Package it, peel it, cut it up. With scallions grow so easily and well and profusely that you can just keep cutting them, putting them in a clamshell and selling them, right? People don't have to now go and pick them and there are opportunities. And based on your environment, you'd be told exactly how you can engage. And remember, it's not just your health. The 3 objectives of this program is to take back control of your health, your wealth, and your mindset. So we are going to be also explaining to you the only way to control your mindset from the distractions. Let's just call it what it is, of the current media world and beyond that. So I think I've come to the end of my foundational bits of information. Another approach was lions and lionesses raising families. Every community transformed, renewed, restored, and thriving. So that's it about my notes. And now it's time for application. If there's anybody on the call who would like to suggest challenges that persons may have in applying these things in their environment or to their individual situations or their families or ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. They want to find out how does this work, it's your time now. So let's have your questions. And I have studio audience with me, one of my sons, and you are free to ask a question as well, Sir Brian. Okay, so Wayne, I hope you're still with us.
Shalom, Doc.
Wonderful. We are now into the time that we would like to have interaction from those who are on the call so that we can apply. I'm trying to get something to tell me. We can apply what's going on, whatever.
Yeah, we are little over the halfway mark.
Because you forgot to tell me when I asked you to tell me when I got to an hour.
Okay, but we are pretty much within striking distance of the hour, so we're good. While I may invite persons to demonstrate a zeal and a passion for what I call substantive information, some of which we may already know, and some of which is new, I would like to just make one point out, Doc. All these years we have heard the word recreation. And we know that recreation is a very important aspect of our daily routine or weekly routine. But you just said something earlier in the hour. It should have been very obvious. Recreate is the root of recreation. To create and to recreate, you need to have recreation. I thought I would just drop that nugget in and I would invite persons to raise their hands so that they can demonstrate very vibrant participation in this presentation. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Because I have a bit of background noise here.
Thank you for that, because a lot of people have a negative view of recreation. They think it's a waste of time. But recreation is becoming like the creator, because one of the characteristics of the creator that we have been given and made in his image and likeness is that we have the capacity to create and recreate anything that we do not like or is not to our advantage. We have the ability to recreate. But we have the management of our time is what is the enemy of every individual on earth. I want to just say that if you are busy, you are busy, bound under Satan's yoke. It is the most effective yoke of the enemy in our lives. Busyness. Anybody says, oh, I know you're a busy person. I said, do not insult me. I am never busy. I am always occupied. Because that's the instruction of the Most High. Occupy until I come. Not be busy. And if you are being busy, then you need to re-examine your activities. And that's a whole session that we do. How to always have excess time, how to always have excess money, how to always have excess capacities. Very, very important. So don't all talk at once. Shall I call you from the bottom up? Inka! Inka, let me hear from you. Okay. We're not, or please repeat because we had a little difficulty there. Oh, this is Yinka's brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not hearing you. You're breaking up. Can you reposition yourself?
Yeah.
Sir Wayne, can you give us a diagnosis of what's going on?
You said exactly what needed to be said. She probably needs to just find a sweeter spot.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah,
please repeat
that
now?
sounds like it. That sounds like it.
Go ahead now.
Right, I'm gonna come off video because
No, we are hearing you.
I
We
guess
are
the
hearing you perfect.
Bandwidth. Yes,
yeah,
go
the
ahead.
bandwidth is poor.
Yes.
Right. No, my brother and I was listening to what you said, and Wayne about recreation being creating, and I don't look at recreation as a negative. For me, I look at it as a positive because it gives me time to enjoy what's around me, nature, and see how I can improve
Wonderful, wonderful.
my
Thank
life.
you.
Yes.
Now, are there any questions on any area in terms of application to yourself? You know, how would this work in my situation? I don't have this, I have this, da 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 da. That's where I want to get input so that I can become more relevant. Because every group I have different situations. So do you have any
Well,
questions?
I think individuals have to look at where they are and what's around them and how they can, in essence, recreate what they have to make
Correct.
it worthwhile for them.
Okay.
Because if you're living in the desert and you don't have any grass around, you're not going to get up and say, I'm going to go mow the grass.
Right.
But
And well, see, for every situation I have, I can tell you what to do with all the environments because I've been there.
right.
So the interest is that a lot of persons are not as proactive as you are because you have been, you know, in this whole field for so long that, you know, you could be teaching the class I'm teaching. So thank you, Yinka, if you don't have any challenges. That's what I want to deal with in this time.
Right. No challenges at this time.
Great. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming up. I would like Samsung SMA165M to identify yourself, please. Wayne, can you do something there?
Let me see, just a second. Welcome, Samsung SMA165M. May I invite you to unmute and just give a brief introduction of yourself, and you may go ahead with your questions, please. Thank you.
Maybe the person has stepped away from their device.
Okay, there's also
Sharon.
Jason McDonald.
Okay.
You may go ahead, Sir Jason.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and
Yes.
clear.
I was invited. I came in late. I didn't remember, so I did not catch most of what you were saying. But I am listening to see if I can do catch up because I came in very late. No idea what you're talking. I know it's about herbs, I think, but I'm not certain. So I'm
Okay,
just going
it's
to
about
listen.
beautiful ashes. But Justin,
Yes,
you will
miss.
be able, Jason, please
Yes,
pronounce your
miss.
name.
My name is Jacinth.
Jacinth. Okay, Jacinth, you
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
able to see this on Kingdom Shift Now, a replay on Kingdom Shift Now. The YouTube channel of Kingdom Shift Now.
Yes, she gave me the link. The person who invited me gave me the
Yes.
link. So
So go on it on YouTube and you'll see the whole program from the beginning.
thank you very much, ma'am.
But based on what you have heard, is there anything that you are particularly interested in?
As long as it is something healthy for life and it's something that can make all my different maladies go away or make them less painful, then I'm for it.
Or not go away? I mean not less painful. Go away.
Totally go. Totally go away. Okay.
Heal.
That I'm at the right place then.
Wonderful, wonderful. And look here, I would like you to invite everybody you know who is sick. And we all know hundreds of people are sick.
Yes, we all
To
do
listen
know
to
somebody.
this outline that we are
I'm going to
going
do
to
just that.
post on YouTube. Kingdom Shift Now. Okay, thank you so much. Coming up,
Thank you too.
Rose or Shay. I don't know who's ready. Before you start, please, Sir Wayne, can you move Samsung SM off the platform?
Or I just unmuted that device. They may be able to speak now. If not, we're going to move.
Okay, because I am.
We have to identify all participants.
We have to, because guess what? There are a lot of persons trying to, sabotage this program.
Okay.
And I don't want anybody who is not identifiable.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Sharon Anderson. And so I've been listening. Happy to be a part of this. I'm intrigued by what is happening. So I just wait and see how best I can able to change, get healthier.
Okay. Sharon, did you say Sharon?
Yes, doctor.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Chung.
Are you in Jamaica?
Yes, Dr. Chung.
Okay. And what parish are you from?
Clarendon. We met at
Clarendon. Because I am trying to get groups from every community. So I would like you to, when you go get the YouTube, I would like you to circulate it to persons in your workplace, your school, your church, your community, so that people can have access to this. It is free, and I am not going to be doing it ever again. I'm moving on to other areas of research. And so afterwards, it will be available in the public space. You understand? Or available as a package thing. So please let as many people as possible know to take advantage of this. Thank you so much.
Certainly will do that.
May I suggest, Doc, that
Yes.
Lady Sharon, you click on your device that is displayed currently as Samsung SMA165M. Select rename and put your name so that whenever you come on to the Zoom broadcast, we can identify who we are interacting with.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Certainly do that.
Over to you, Doc.
Okay. Haven't heard from? All right. Who's next?
Yeah, I had trouble unmuting. So
Okay.
I figured out something. Anyway, yes, I am all for the program because it is health, and without health, we can't have our wealth. And also, I am a purpose mentor, so I'm very much into the concept of walking in our purpose as a pathway to not only being rightly aligned with God, but getting our lives in alignment as well so that we can enjoy the wealth that is divinely ours. But I am not a seller. And so what should I say? Cultivating food for that purpose would not be one of my goals, but definitely so that I can eat better, I would be interested in planting my own food so that I can have a healthier life. And
Okay. Okay. Let me back up here, because this is, you don't think it is, but it is a challenge, right? You said you're not a seller,
no.
right? So the issue, that does not negate your being obedient to the word. We are put on earth, placed in a garden, and told to replenish the earth. So the issue of whether you are a seller or not does not negate your responsibility to plant 10 times what you need. Okay?
Right. No, I'm all for that.
Wait, because you see, you don't have to sell it. You can, each
Yeah.
person coming on this program has to develop 3 nurseries. It's a requirement. A food nursery, a pharmacy, it's a food and pharmacy nursery, right? What you need for your sustenance, as well as what you need for your healing, because let your food be your medicine, right? That's one nursery. The next one is a food forest nursery. You don't have to have any space to plant the fruit trees and stuff like that, but you must develop the nursery. And then you must develop a forestry nursery. And all of this you can do in just one big container, a 5-gallon pail or stuff like that. Once you have that, then you have a responsibility to either distribute the seeds before you plant them, or distribute the seedlings after you have planted them. Meaning you plant them on the sidewalk. You go and throw them in the open land. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have a responsibility to generate the start and to distribute it. We don't have to sell it.
Okay.
Right? You understand? So it's our responsibility is to recover the earth, because the enemy is systematically cutting down all our trees, because it is the trees that clean the earth. Without the trees, the whole earth is going to die. Right? That's why everything is dying. All the crops are failing and so on. They're not. The trees are the lungs of the earth. And so God put us here and he gave us an instruction: replenish the earth. And so each individual will never fulfill purpose unless they do that part of it. So it's not that you have to sell it.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, I get
Thank
it.
you for that input, because a lot of people have that same thing. I don't know to sell, or I don't want to sell. I just want to grow for myself. Right. But we have a responsibility to the whole earth, to our communities, to our families. And we go through all of those in the sessions. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else that you'd like to?
No, I think it's pretty clear. And I think the goals for each month are also clear. And everything is a process, step by step.
Yeah.
You're up starting with yourself.
Yes. I don't know why I feel I am preaching to the choir here.
You probably are.
Thank you, Kay.
Yeah. If you don't preach to the choir, then it
Then
won't.
the choir won't be motivated to go to preach
Exactly.
on the choir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I haven't heard from Rose and Jack. I heard, yes, just Rose left. Dr.
Shalom,
Rose,
shalom.
let's hear from you.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Well, I have no problem right now, but I am really excited to start the 7-month program. So I'm looking forward to starting and to pay
Wonderful.
attention and to give it my best shot, 110%.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on. Dr. Rose is a trichologist, and she was one of the persons on my last program during 2025. And so I explained to her, I said, coming on here it's a different thing. We're ramping up several notches. So she's back with us again, and we appreciate that. So Sir Wayne, is there any area that I haven't covered that you may want me to cover so that it is on the recording for those who are going to listen?
Just inviting those who came in, which you have already mentioned, that the full recordings of all of your previous programs, including this one, is going to be found on your YouTube channel, Kingdom Shift Now. And my only other additional comment is that when you come to the platform, what Lady Dr. Rose just said is very, very helpful. Be excited.
Thank you. Be excited, because this is, every time I do this program, and I've been doing it for over 20 years, it pushes me to another level of growth, and it's just, and transformation, right? Because I get exposed to new people, different situations. I mean, you can't exhaust the different situations, because we're all unique people. And we all have an opportunity to grow and become our best selves. Let's just put it that way. So if there are no other questions or comments, Sir Brian, you didn't say anything. What would you like to? You don't have any questions? No questions at this time. I have one of my surrogate sons, Mr. Brian Murray, who has decided to come and be a part of the studio audience. This is something I offer. Anybody can come and visit while we're doing this and be a part of our studio audience, and then continue in our program. So thank you to those of you who have come on, and thank you to those of you who have participated. Please, Sir Wayne, will it be in 24 hours? I will get a copy of this. It will be on Kingdom Shift Now YouTube channel, and you will be able to share it with others. Now, registration closes on Friday for the Sunday program, next week Sunday, where we start and we're doing our self-healing body, soul, and spirit. That will be our topic for the whole of May. So we're going to be looking at how to heal the body, how to heal the soul, how to heal the spirit. And we're going to be looking at Immunology 101. We're going to be looking at principles of disease reversal, and we're going to be looking at cellular health maintenance, so that we can understand how to read just the principles, and then we can apply them during the month before we go on to the next topic. So see you on May the 3rd. Make sure you get, if you can get groups together, families together, any kind of, grouping that can benefit more than one person. And there, in the past, I've had persons who have had virtual groups where they paid the registration, and then they came on, and then every time the video is released, they get together with their group to go through the material and to apply to their own situations. So it's something that you can almost reteach to a children's group or a teenagers group or any kind of special interest group. So the information about doing the registration is on Kingdom Shift Now, and I'm going to encourage you to go there and register. Thank you for coming on. And this is Dr. Cheryl Chong. Kingdom Shift Now.
Shalom, shalom, everyone. See you at our next broadcast.
Before we go, Sir Wayne, I haven't thanked you yet. And this is Kingdom Shift Now, and I'm thanking Sir Wayne King, who is CEO of I Am That I Am Kingdom Network. So if you want media that is kingdom, this is where to go. Because we're going to be looking at how to take back total control of our health, total control of our wealth, and total control of our mindset, which is influenced primarily by media. So see you on next Sunday, 3 to 5, when we're going to start. And make sure you bring along some friends. Thank you once again. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom.
everyone. Bye.
Shalom.